Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times. Welcome to my channel, welcome to a little bit of Surviving Mars. So they've added in challenges now, which is a curious kind of thing to do. I think that's kind of a fun little thing that you could try to do. As you'll notice, I've completed 0 to 24, and since this is a guide series, I will not actually be doing these in the sort of sense of having... like, I'm not going to play this in the way of blind guides or whatever. I'm going to play the game through, complete the challenge, come back here once we've completed it, and then we'll talk about how to play it properly. But we are going to do a guide series on challenges, and the reason I'm skipping to this and why it took so long to get sort of this is partly because I was having a lot of trouble figuring out how to actually make the how to do city building kind of interesting, because that is so basic that it's difficult to actually do that one, because realistically, I think most people who want to do city building are just going to do whatever the hell they want and not really care about it. And by the time you get to that sort of point, you're going to notice like fundamental problems that crop up with colonists who are really suboptimal or becoming renegades or something like that. All of that's going to come up in normal games as well, and also I kind of ignore them in normal games. They're not a huge deal. They are annoying as hell, but they are not a big deal. So I don't think that it's necessary to talk to people necessarily about what it's like to play a city building game, because you're just going to go freestyle it anyway, I think. So anyway, I'm going to try out this one here, Baby Steps. It's going to be a pretty interesting one to get here. We have to have 5 Martian-born colonists by Sol 26. We are the Church of the New Ark with the Rocket Scientist Commander profile on a place that's got lots of dust devils, lots of dust storms. Now what's interesting is that this could potentially screw us over if we're trying to get our guys on planet within a certain time frame, because that might prevent us from actually getting anybody on planet during that time. But we'll see how things go, and in any event, I will see you guys once I figure this out. Okay, and welcome back. So as you can see here, we managed to get a perfect score in 11 days, and the perfected just basically means that you did it at half the time instead of the recommended amount of time. I think it's going to probably be a bit different for some of the other ones. Some of them might not be feasible with half the time, so it's probably just a certain amount less. But in any event, we did this in 11 days instead of the requisite number. Let's take a quick look at how we went ahead and did it, if I can remember how the hell we did it. So one of the first things that we're going to be doing is here, we're going to be okay with this setup here. This is perfectly fine. What we don't necessarily need is... Actually, I think I went with defaults in this whole thing here. In any event, though, let's go ahead and get started. So this one's a little bit tricky to get the perfect score on, but is dead easy if you're just trying to go for the basic score. One of the things to remember, you're not trying to make a functional colony. After you've got those 5 people, if everyone dies of dysentery, that is perfectly acceptable. So realistically speaking, we're not going to give a crap if we have a colony that is literally going to die the second we look away from them after we've gotten our goal. Cruel, but you know, it's the way that you gotta roll when you're doing these challenges. Anyway, let's take a look at our start here. So what we're going to do is scan directly north of us. That is where we're going to settle. If you take a time to sort of scan around here, in this valley, there's a bunch more concrete over there that's going to be a little bit important, not super important, and there's a water here which is going to be very, very important. I'm going to go ahead and do this in this order here, and then we're just going to, whatever the hell, it doesn't really matter all that much what we're scanning. One of the things that we're never going to be able to do is scan anomalies, and we're never going to get any text. So you want this guy to be about up here or thereabouts, approximately here. You can use the gold as reference. You want to be able to get the concrete that's around here, as well as the water that's up here, using the radius of this guy's sort of whatever the hell drone control. So drop that there. Gonna drop our concrete extractor right away, which is quite far away from us, but that's okay, and that'll be fine. Gonna go ahead and drop our deposits, depots, whatever the hell, and dumping site. And then we're gonna drop our cables, and we've got all of our buildings that we need to build as well. So we're not gonna get a second shipment in just yet here. In fact, we're going to just not really care too much about that. We're gonna click on text so that the thing goes away. We could outsource, technically speaking. We do actually have some spare money in this particular strat, but not really our goal there. Anyway, let's go ahead and let this guy drop down. We're going to go ahead and start collecting some metal. Actually, we'll go ahead and collect metal from something that we're not going to naturally get with our radius there. So we'll go ahead and pick this up, whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. Sterling generator, since we've got one, and that's going to help us accelerate quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy right about here. That should be fine. Doesn't really matter too much. Going to go ahead and get a sensor tower. Actually, I'm going to get the other stuff first. Let's go ahead and drop down our moisture vaporator. We'll put the moisture vaporator over here. Looks good. And then we'll have our fuel refinery over here. So we're really just slamming down everything right away. After that, tiny bit of cables so that we can start working on that fuel right now. And that should be good. Go ahead as well and drop down a universal depot as well as a metal depot. And that's pretty much what we're going to need for the first little bit here. Now we are going to want that sensor tower as well, so let's go ahead and put that in there. And what the sensor tower is going to do is it's going to get me access to this in the water a little bit faster. So that's something that we definitely want. After that, we can turn it off or something like that. It doesn't really matter that much. Go ahead and open up our Sterling so that it's going to be enough for our power needs. And we'll get working on a wind turbine. But basically, just trying to build stuff quite quickly, but remembering that there's sort of a cap on how fast you can build anyway, so don't fret too much. We are playing this on the fastest speed possible. I would like to get this video done at some point within the decade, so I'm not playing on the slowest one. But yeah, you're going to need this little guy here running around collecting resources wherever you can find them. Scans are going to help you find more resource nodes as well, which is going to be something quite crucial. Got our scanner up and running, so it's going to be pinging away. It's going to make it so that this goes way faster here. And yeah, that should be a good thing for us. Let's go ahead and collect up the metal down here. One of the other nice things about having this guy collecting the metal and putting it down, and the reason I use this guy instead of the exploration thing, is because this extra bit of metal that we got put down here is going to make it much faster for these guys to collect metal and work with it instead of having to pull it off of resource nodes, which they can't really do right now anyway. So anyway, next up we're going to go ahead and throw in some pipes. Throw that down there. Going to go ahead and get a Moxie, which we want to have not using up too much space here, but at the same time, I can never quite get these things in the right spot here. Anyway, looks like we got access to this stuff, so let's go ahead and build. And we do definitely want the second concrete extractor here. Just because if we don't have this extra concrete extractor, things take too long. Let's go ahead and get a dumping site. If you forget the dumping sites and the concrete whatever's, the storage depots, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get things done just because your little workers are going to be a little bit less efficient, but it's not a huge deal. So next up we should be getting this for the water, and that's going to also be quite important. We're going to need some pipes up to there pretty quickly. This thing should be able to reach it even though this one won't, so we need to make sure we don't send this guy off before we get the water pipe set up. Although admittedly it's going to take a long time before this thing's ready to go. It takes a while to get that fuel saved up. We are going to need the fuel for this though, and we do need to send this back here by about... We need it sent back to Earth by about day 6 or so. Around there. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn this off since we need our Moxie. Actually, I don't need my Moxie producer right now. I don't have the oxygen tanks yet. So let's go ahead and slam down a couple of those. And you are going to need the Moxie and air tanks and stuff like that, that combination, just because there is enough dust storms in this that you're going to need at least a couple air tanks. So just why we got that. Let's go ahead and slam down another wind turbine. Just right there. That should be enough to re-get our Moxie here. And we're going to actually queue up our basic dome here. I think we're going to put it about here. That's fine. And it's going to take us a while to actually build it. We're not too worried about that. We're actually going to deprioritize it in a second here. But we do want to add in the water there. And the water is going to be up prioritized. It's going to be pretty damn important that we get that, so. Let's get a cable down to here. And we'll also throw down some cabling down to here. I don't think it's going to matter too much. That we're going to use a little bit spare there. A little bit more than we would want to, potentially. But let's go ahead and get a cable down here. Now, we don't actually have to hook this up. We can just add water towers to there. Let's go ahead and throw down, I think, one should actually be fine. Again, the water tower is just so that we're not wasting all this time here with this thing, but we are going to be wasting a little bit of time with it. And we're going to deprioritize this a little bit for now. Wait till this other stuff gets done. We are wasting a bit of metal here, and I'm not sending my metal thing back enough, so let's go ahead and have this guy dump off all that. Looks like we got a decent amount of metal here, though, so that should be fine. Most of the stuff basically just takes metal anyhow, so... Drone heavy load, this is going to be a good sign for you. As long as you've got drone heavy load, that means that your guys are all doing their work. This thing we want prioritized, let's get that done. So here's 17 metal around here somewhere. I think that's around here. Yep. Okay. I don't remember where all the metal deposits are really, so if we're missing a couple of those, don't worry about it too much. Looks like we need more energy. Every time you need more energy, just throw down another wind turbine or two. We are eventually going to need a whole hell of a lot more for the purpose of getting this thing running. But right now, the reason that we need it is to get that concrete, and we can turn the sensor tower off now. Actually, that's fine. We are going to need also a lot more for the dome itself. But in any event, yeah, this should go up fairly quickly. We're not looking at getting it done in any impressive amount of time, but we do need it done pretty fast. Alright, so... Now, one of the things about this challenge is that it is slightly RNG based, so the amount of time that it takes me to beat this challenge in this particular run is going to be different than the amount of time it takes me to beat it in another run. The reason for that is that the types of settlers that you get is slightly randomized, so I might not have the same type as I did last time, but there is some method to the madness of trying to recruit people that are going to be good for this place. I'm going to try and... Oh, no, that's fine. Okay. Maybe not, actually. Oh, God. Okay, hold on 1 minute here. Yeah, not 100% sure what is going on as far as that, but I do notice that day-night cycle tends to screw with my game a lot, so could have something to do with that happening again, but either way. Now I think we're just about out of machinery here. I should have just enough to get our power plants up and running, but primarily what we're hoping to do is get this guy run up and ready to run here, and once it is, we'll be able to send it back to Earth. It should be okay. Yeah, low storage of electricity. We're at exactly 0 produced. That's perfectly fine. We don't need more than that. Let's see here. Now, for some reason, like our little RV thing does not require electricity in this particular map for this particular challenge. Not necessarily 100% sure why that is. Could be the tech that we started with. I can't remember. No, it looks like it's CO2 jet propulsion. Yeah, not entirely sure why that is. That we don't have that. It's just part of the challenge that we don't have to worry about it. But it's not really a big benefit either. So don't look at that as doing you any huge favors. We're going to go ahead and bring this guy up here. We've already got the electricity connected up, so we're not going to worry about that. And we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, you do need to have pretty much everything set up for day 8, because that's when a dust storm potentially could come in and ruin everything. So if you get dust stormed and your people are kept off planet by that dust storm, then you're going to be in for a rough ride. Now what's happening here is we're basically just waiting for concrete, but we're close enough now that I can go ahead and launch my passenger rocket, and this is going to be one of those ones where we kind of just go for a very, very careful screening process. So the age groups here, we are actually going to say no to the middle-aged people in this particular instance, but we are going to allow all the flaws. We're not going to care about those at all right now. Flaws are more of something that like just irritates you long term. We're going to turn those off, and we're going to just really focus on the sexy trait. So let's head back here and actually review the people that we can get. Now, this should have topped off all the people with the sexy trait, and basically this just greatly increases their chance of giving birth. So we need to be a bit careful here. We've got 1 female, 2 females, 3 females, 4 females, 5 females, 6 females. Okay, we have 6 females with sexy traits. Now, I did see, I think, a youth in here, which is distressing, because I have to kick that one out as well. But, yeah, we've got 1 male youth, who's a scientist, who's sexy. Well, Jared Jefferson, you are... Especially because Angel Jefferson... Okay, so we're getting rid of, unfortunately, all of our sexy males. That's not good. This is what I was talking about a little bit with that sort of luck element to it. If you've got loads and loads of one type or one whatever, then you're gonna be in trouble here. I think we had 6 females here. That's what I was counting. I just need to count half of the population. I need to know how many females are on board or how many males are on board. So that's 4 up there, 5, 6. Yeah, we got 6 females, so I need to fill the rest of this up with dudes. So we're just going to start looking for males that... pretty much what we want to do at this point in time is just look for 4 male medics or something like that, or not even 4 of them, just 2 at the very least. We might not even be able to get that combination there. Mercedes Jenkins is a girl. Damn it. Alright, and the reason we're doing this is because we kind of want to have that 50-50. It just makes things more likely. Oh god, all the medics are girls. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Okay, Pamela Kent, that's also a girl. Denver Simpson. Okay, we got 1 lazy young medic. Oh, this is so bad. Okay, so this is where everything's gonna fall apart just a little bit here. I'm trying to actually remember something here. Can I get away with bringing youths? Able to work. I'm pretty sure youths can't have children in this game. I'm gonna actually just click that button there. Everything else should be fine, so let's just hit review again. Oh god, I have to do this again. Okay, so we got... That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I think that is, again, 1, 2... It's literally just 2 dudes that fit our criteria. This is going to be awkward as hell. Alright, so yes. Okay, that worked. Now we just have to see if we can find any medics this time again. I wonder why this one's, like... Oh, this probably has, yeah, this person has Guru, so that's why that person's highlighted. Right. Pamela Kent. I might just have to bring female medics. Because it is very, very important that we have access to medics. You know, actually, I think the trait... I think we can get by without the traits. It's bad, but we'll see if that makes a big difference. Alright, so what we're looking for is... Clark. This is such a weird game. Anyway, what we're looking for is just males here, broadly speaking, for the rest of our dudes. I mean, Clark sounds good. Clark is a vegan. That's fine under this context here. Let's see here. Elvis. How could we say no to an Elvis? Okay. Actually, I should probably specifically be going for no specializations here. So, oh, that's actually a dude. All right, gambler. That's not great, but we won't build a casino. This one's a dude, workaholic. Okay, that's good. And we're up to 12. Okay, so after very careful screening, we've gotten all of the attractive people who are, like, this is going to be paradise for some people, I guess, because we've just decided to load it up with attractive people, and all the attractive people are women. Sure, whatever. And launch anyway, despite that. Yeah, this is a weird game sometimes. Last time I was playing this, it was much more even. I think we had 3 men and 4 women who had that trait the last time I did this, so this might go a little bit differently just as a result of that. I'm imagining it will, but whatever. We'll live. Okay, and I should probably also get some pipe valves to stop this from actually consuming any of this. You know what? It doesn't matter. I don't want it consuming the water while we don't have anything in here, but probably doesn't matter that much. Okay, get that down. Get a nursery in. That's going to be key. Next up, we need an infirmary. Get a grocer, just cuz. And we're basically just looking to fill this thing up with fairly basic amenities here. We probably throw in a diner here. Electronics store. Small fountain here. And I probably go the electronics store here. There we go. We'll eventually get a second house and stuff like that, but for now this is perfectly fine. And how is this doing for being filled up here? Let's get that... Alright, so now we know as well we need a little bit more electricity. Okay, so I want to just check, make sure we're not using any of our machine parts on these buildings here. I don't think we do. Yeah, we're fine on that, so that's all good. Yeah, so we're lacking that electricity for our life support, which has turned off our drones, which means that everything else is getting done slower. Good. That's exactly what we want to see. We can slow down our concrete production now, though, since we don't really need it for as much. There we go. Water production would still be nice, honestly.
Sector scanned. Anomalies.
There we go. Okay, bring you back here. 86% of the way here. That's not great, but 44, day 5. We should be sending this off before day 6, so I don't think we'll run out of anything too important. Alright, let's go ahead and up-prioritize that. We'll turn off our other concrete, maybe? No, we need concrete for a little bit here. What can we turn off? What do we not need right now? I need the fuel for a little bit longer. Once we get this to 50, though, we can turn off our fuel generation. You know what, I'm going to turn off our Moxie. Alright, passengers, let's go ahead and dump them in. Even though we don't have all these amenities working yet, it's still fine. Don't really need those up and running for a bit. Alright. So we got this thing. So hopefully this place will be okay-ish. It's not going to be great given the circumstances, but it should be okay-ish. Let's turn our Moxie back on, I think. So I think we are capable of launching. Okay. Nope, don't want to dismantle it. Let's just turn it off. We could dismantle it, actually. That would get me a little bit more stuff. And we are actually going to go ahead and dismantle this guy, because we're not going to use another rocket. We don't have enough time for another rocket, really. Actually, by that token, I guess we do dismantle the fuel refinery. Let's also dismantle our sensor tower here. Alright, do we have any metal? Over here there's some. Okay, let's go ahead and grab it. Still at 0 science, that's perfectly fine. We're gonna just continue trucking with 0 science. This place, we're going to be below 50 comfort or 55 comforts for quite some time here, and we need it to be 55, so don't worry too much about that, though. We will start filling that in. It's just a matter of getting to that point where we can sort of safely do that. Let's get working on the spacebar. Yeah, we got 6 hours. I'm not going to make it in time. So this particular playthrough, just because of the timing of the electrostatic dust storm, is so much earlier than the last few times where it shows up on Sol 8. We're going to have to reset this one, but yeah, the reason is that we need to send in this set of resources, so this particular playthrough is a bust. But that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. It's just going to depend a little bit on each of your challenges. So in any event, we were going to have to reset this one, and that's perfectly fine. Because as you can see here, we got this dust storm. Actually, let's check. The duration of it is 1 day, 21 hours. You know what? I think this might be tolerable. Let's continue on with this one, actually. The reason that this is tolerable is that by the time our ship makes it back to Earth and then makes it back to here, with the supplies that I need, it probably isn't going to matter all that much that we're looking at that sort of situation. So up to 74%, and we've still got a day and 16. Yeah, so we're just going to be careful about this thing here. We're just going to keep our eye on it. And as soon as we get a chance, we are going to go ahead and bring in a bunch of supplies, and that's going to help us with our colony not freaking dying, which would be really lovely. I'm just going to have this guy drop off now. Alright, so we might actually have... It's nighttime, so it's not going to happen, but comfort's up to 60, so we should start seeing some children's being birthed in just a little bit here. Alright, so we can send our ship as well now. Cargo rocket. We're looking for about 40 units of food. It's actually more like 30, 35, thereabouts is enough. Then we're going for polymers. I wish my game would run. Only need a tiny amount of electronics. We actually got some electronics recovered from that machine that the spaceship that we sort of took apart there. So we can sort of go more wild on the other stuff. And we got plenty of money as well, so I think that this ought to do... I'm trying to remember, am I forgetting anything that's important? I don't think I am. Alright, so we'll go ahead and launch that. Now at this point in time, I just have to see if I can land this. So, like, I guess we got a bit lucky in the sense that the electrostatic dust storm is short here, because we'll be able to land on day 8 fairly early on in it, which is not really dissimilar from what I did last time. The only difference is that last time I came in before the dust storm. So now you can see that we still have 7 days left to get everything done. I'm going to fast forward this just a little bit here, because all it is going to be is basically waiting until this dust storm is over. Okay, and we are back. So as you can see, we've got 5 Sol left, which is 5 days. We've also got a population of 13, someone was born, and we've got our cargo drop coming in. So this is going to help us out tremendously, of course. I also actually need... I think I screwed something up a little bit here. Oh no, that's fine. I also need to add in a dumping site over here. That's an unexplored sector. Interesting. I think that's going to go away just fine. So anyway, comfort coasting at a pretty good zone there. It's not that bad. So let's go ahead and upgrade that to high priority. Got plenty of water left over, but we don't have much that we can do about it right now. Turn our Moxie back on, see what happens. And yeah, should be able to start getting things underway just a little bit here. Now, computer is running a bit like shit here, but hopefully we'll be able to get things up and running. I accidentally built 2 electronic stores. Don't do that if you get the chance. Not going to make a huge difference in this particular playthrough, though, so we're probably going to be okay. One of the things you might want to do is manually go through and make sure that everything's set so that only one shift is being worked. Yeah, they're not actually, they don't actually have hypothermia. They're fine. Okay, so hit troubling there, that's fine. So, yeah, in any event though, all we can do right now is just wait until the time runs out, and we'll either get enough people being born or we won't. Occasionally you just go into your thing and check to see if we've got enough comfort, but yeah, if I could get the game to run, that would be fantastic. Basically, you just have to keep it in the green, or realistically, you just have to keep it at 55 or higher. If we take a look at our births allowed thing here, we can check to see as well how things are, and we can see that 5 out of 6 males and 6 out of 6 females. So this means that our odds of a child being born at any given moment is pretty good. We've got a second one born already, so that's pretty good. You'll generally find that you might be able to get 1 per day, depending on the RNG, and this is a little bit RNG dependent, but yeah, let's just let things coast for a little bit, and we'll see how things are. Alright, so here we are. It took me a day longer, but you can definitely get through with the strategy. Now, things to emphasize in terms of the importance of the strategy here. Basically, what we're really looking to do here, really fast, is gain access to the refinery to get our fuel up so that we can get our shuttle back to Earth and back to Mars as quickly as possible. That's going to be absolutely key to getting your first colony like this one. You're going to be building your first dome off of just your very, very first shuttle. You're not going to be doing too much fancy with it. As soon as you are almost on your dome and you can get it, get a shuttle full of passengers, bring them in. You're looking for as many of the sexy people as possible. That is the key trait. Once you sort of got everybody there, you can send your next shuttle back to Mars, the timing just barely works out that I can go to Earth, come back with a big shipment of resources, allow you to sort of survive on those resources. And you can see I've actually got an absolute ton of stuff left over here. So even what I brought was more than I really needed. So anyway, my computer's crashing right now. So anyway, I hope you found this video enjoyable. And of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.